Hi, I'm Stephen Goldsmith, and welcome to Homotivation, the podcast for busy, successful gay men who refuse to put their bodies last. On this show, I sit down with high-performing gay men, entrepreneurs, creatives, and professionals who are not only building careers, but they're navigating life and still making fitness a priority, but not for perfection or approval, for longevity, confidence, and self-respect.
Probably was just eating and drinking anything I wanted to.
Do you notice that has made a difference now that you are more conscious about what you eat and what you put in your body to support what you're doing? Because to those who are listening right now, you are constantly traveling, like
Yes.
nonstop. And it's like, yes, you get a few days off here and there where you come back to New York City, but especially with Doo-Wop, you are always on the go, which means you always have to find a new place to work out. You always have to figure out how you're going to eat and stay on top of everything. How do you do that?
Stephen, it's a beast, to tell you, because sometimes, look, times like this right now when we're with the symphonies and we're in the same hotel for 3 or 4 nights, it's a much easier than when we are on one-nighters, traveling to and fro, doing a show, driving 3 hours the next day, doing a show, driving 3 hours the next day, doing a show, flying 4 hours, another bus. Yeah, it's like very Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
That being said, what I do is I was going to try and show you, but I take supplements, obviously. Like I take AG1 for my greens because we're not always in places that have just greens available for us.
Or where you can store certain things that they don't go bad, right?
So yes, exactly. I can't just travel with things. Yeah. So I take AG1 has been a lifesaver for me because it's in packets and I can just, have that with water and make sure I at least have one serving of the fruits and vegetables I need per day. And then I also, they feed us at the venue, most venues, not the symphonies, but they feed us at our regular venues. And so there's always generally like a green option and like a nice lean protein when they don't put cheese over on everything, which they love to do. But we have that in our rider for them not to do that. So, I have to make healthy decisions. And then after the show late at night, you have to go to TGI Fridays or whatever. You just order the grilled chicken and a side of string beans if you can. And I will get a French fry, but that's all right. I had burned it by that point. It's about making conscious and healthy decisions and just dealing with what's in front of you. We're not always in big cities like we are now where we can go to a place that actually has a real restaurant and real food to cook.
Yeah.
So it is a challenge, but I feel like there's something else. So I take the greens. I'm looking over at my supply. I take collagen now on a daily basis too. I stopped doing the creatine because it makes me bloated, although I know creatine is really good for you, especially as you age. So I'm sure you have an opinion about that.
I do, as long as you should be doing it every single day, whether you work out or not. And if you're doing it every single day and you're staying properly hydrated, that bloat usually does go away. But it could also just be the type that you were taking or the brand that you were using.
It might be that. I haven't found a brand that doesn't make me feel fat. So I just stopped taking it.
Well, because it does add more water retention in your body. That's part of what it does. Usually that does dissipate though. You found that no matter how often you were taking it, it didn't go away?
No, last year I took it for at least 6-7 months or so. And that it didn't really go away for me, but it may have been the brand I was using. I'm interested in doing creatine again.
Yeah.
Because I do believe in its benefits.
You know what the benefits are, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell for people who are listening that don't know the benefits, when you're doing any kind of a workout in order to build lean muscle tissue, you have to push a certain amount of weight and try to beat what you did the last time to go through what's called progressive overload. And what creatine can do is help you eke out that one more rep or just a little bit more weight, because even just a little bit of an uptick in your volume of what you're lifting weight-wise and rep-wise, that is going to make a difference, even if it's just one or even a half of one, because then you are pushing yourself past a plateau that you didn't think you could get past. That's why creatine is great. It's also something that's naturally occurring in your body that gets depleted while you're working out. So you're actually replenishing your body with more. It's also good for brain health. But as gay men, we also have to be careful. If you're on any kind of HIV medication or PrEP, then that can also affect your kidneys. So that can elevate your creatinine levels. And if your doctor says that that's elevated, then you stop taking creatine. But you just have to make sure you're being a conscious person while you're taking it and doing the right things to stay healthy, like anything else, right?
Yeah. The other thing for me too is it's just become one more
I know.
jar of powders I can't travel like I had to travel with. So I'm like, I'll just cut that one out for now.
Do you travel it in the actual like containers or do you put it in bags? Because I tend to put things in Ziploc bags and then they stop me and they're like, "What is this drug that you have?
Yeah,
And why so many
that's why
bags?"
I don't put it in bags. I keep it in the containers, but I also just put it in my checked bag.
Yeah,
Just so I don't have any problems trying to get through security.
yeah.
But yeah, my protein powder is in like the jar. But then
Mhm.
like I have the AG1 packets and I have a new collagen thing that's like little packets.
Great. Yeah.
And then my pre-workout also comes in little packets, which is Bloom or Celsius, you know. So that's kind of what I do on the road. I mean, you know, the good thing, I go back, I get the chance to go back and forth from on the road. Like last year, which we didn't even really finish the Broadway journey, but so for 10 years, let's just go back to that. For 10 years after Motown ended in 2015, and it was 9 years before I was back on Broadway. In those 9 years, I did go to London for 6 months and do Motown there. But then the majority, and then every year I do like one or two regional gigs here and there. But the majority of my time had been with the Dubart Project, traveling
Mhm.
pretty consistently until I did my fourth Broadway show, which was Tammy Faye, which a very short-lived musical called Tammy Faye the Musical.
But a
Yeah,
quick credit in and out.
quick credit, in and out. Yeah. So I did that. That was in 2004. And then last year I got to do Joy, a new true musical off Broadway for the summer, which is great. They're actually I just got an email about it yesterday. They're still working on it and hopefully it will have some life after that. So I do look forward to being able to sit down and have a routine at home. It just makes it a lot easier to
God,
keep up
so
with
much
all the
easier.
things I need to keep up
Yeah.
with. It's
Yeah,
so much
because
easier.
well,
Yeah.
because you've got your kitchen, you've got all of your things there.
Yeah.
But that
My
being said,
NutriBullet.
but the great thing that you've discovered and that you've figured out is how to go on these trips prepared. And if you leave it to
Yeah.
chance, it's really easy to fall off. And I can't tell you how many of my clients at Steve Endurance will say to me, well, I just didn't have the ability to get something healthy, or where we're going, there's only McDonald's, or there's only TGI Fridays, or I don't have a gym that's close by. But yes, but you have to do the pre-work before you go to see, is there a gym nearby? If not, will I work out at the hotel gym? If not, can I bring bands with me and do band and body weight workouts? Can I get my steps in? Bring all of the supplements with me, arm myself with all of these things so that you are set up for success. Because so
Yeah.
many people will just leave it to chance and then just say, I couldn't do it. And that couldn't be further from the truth. What it is not about not being able to, it's about I don't even want to say work ethic because I don't think that's fair. Because sometimes it comes down to like the overwhelm of having to do that, and some
Yeah.
of us shut down, right?
Yeah. In those people's defense, especially if you're traveling a lot, it's really hard to even have the will to have to seek out these things because it's just not necessarily available. And when you're performing like we are, 7, 8 o'clock at night, when you get done with the show at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, nothing's open but
Yes.
these fast food chains. And nowadays, I mean, I didn't even realize this because I very rarely eat fast food. But like, recently when it's been the only option, or all the other guys want to stop and get like Burger King or McDonald's or something, they don't even have the grilled chicken options anymore. Have you noticed that? Like you could usually you used to be able to get a salad and then get like a grilled
Yes.
chicken
A lot of
sandwich
them
and
don't
take
even
the
have
chicken off.
salads anymore. Yeah.
They don't even
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
salads anymore or grilled. Everything's fried. Like they don't care about us. Like America wants us to be sick and unhealthy, but that's a whole
What are you
nother
talking
story.
about? What do you mean? That
Yeah.
never occurred to me before.
Yeah, it never occurred to you. And this is what people eat all the time. It's really jarring to see that, like, and we travel a lot of very small towns and,
Yeah.
lower income communities at times, meaning like just these remote places that we go to because, we're a commodity there and we come and bring Broadway level talent to these communities, but they don't at night, especially, I'm sure there are restaurants you can get better food, but like they don't have fast food options that give you a healthy choice. Like in those people's defense, it's like you can't always make the healthy choice because it's not even an
Right.
option, and you need to eat,
Yep.
so
Yep.
there's that. But yes, so you have to be
Yeah.
proactive and you have to do
But
the
there's
things that
also
I do.
But there's also balance in there, right? Like you can
Yeah.
have a fried chicken sandwich, you can have
Yes.
French fries as long as the bulk of what you're eating is good whole food sources. And I always say to my clients, it's 80-20. 80% good
Yeah.
whole food sources, 20% enjoyment and flexibility. But if that scale starts to tip the other way, that's where it becomes problematic. And it's really easy to let that scale tip. But if you're tracking macronutrients or not tracking macronutrients and you know what you should be eating, stick to that primarily. And then when you have those 20% enjoyment moments, you don't feel gross or feel bad about yourself. You actually feel like you
Yeah.
burned it.
And that's the other thing I'll say too is like the other thing that works for me in these situations is I do intermittent fasting. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that it's been working for me for a long time. But I also then will choose to not eat at that late, so then can have a healthier breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Too.
Yeah, and you were talking about intermittent fasting and how that
Yeah,
sometimes can like make it a little easier for you. I actually think that intermittent fasting is great. It just depends on how you're doing it and how you're utilizing it. Like I think the standard 16 hours of fasting, which includes your sleep time, and 8 hours of eating is really great. Sometimes I will even find that I have more energy when I am fasted, as
yeah,
long as I am staying properly hydrated. But I also make sure that if I'm lifting that day, that I'm butting it up against my lift to where the end of my fast will be my protein shake. And then at least I'm getting the right amount of nutrients throughout the day.
yes. And that's actually what I'm doing now. I haven't eaten today because I went to IHOP last night. I had an
Woo!
omelet though, egg white omelet, so it's fine. But I'm now gonna go, and I think you had touched on this earlier, like whether or not the hotel has a gym. Oftentimes, we go to these hotels that have a really really bad gym,
Yeah.
with
It's
like
like
just maybe
odd dumbbell.
a dumbbell and no elliptical, just a treadmill in a room. Other place and like no pulley machine. I can get a lot done with if I at least have a
If
pulley
you have
machine where I
cables,
can.
yeah,
If you have
absolutely.
cables, yeah. Or what I am going to do today, in fact, even though this hotel does have cables at least and free weights, which are one bench up to 50 pounds, but I'm lucky in that, or I do have a crunch membership. So I will now go. I'm going to drive to a crunch like 15 minutes away, so I can get a proper
Yeah.
workout in.
Yeah. I think that's really smart. I'd recommend to people also if you want something that's like nationwide, sometimes even investing in like your $20 a month Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, yeah. The other
This
guys on our tour do
this
that.
is not
Yeah.
an official advertisement for Planet Fitness or Crunch, but if you want something that's inexpensive that you can still maintain, even if you're not going to use it where you live and you travel a lot of the time you can find one of them.
Yes, and that's actually why I chose that membership at Crunch because I find that they're in a lot of areas that we go to at least. So when we're in big cities like this, it's a lot easier to get over there. But I can make do with a hotel gym. I really all I need is just a weight. I need an elliptical and I need like 50 pound, and I can make it work. And some bands. I
Yeah.
have traveled with bands. I'm not currently traveling with bands, but that's also a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just that's a good thing for as a solve, just in case
Yeah,
you can't do anything else. There's always something you can do. Yeah, the bands add a little bit of extra weight to your luggage, but
yeah,
they you can compact them in a little bag and throw them
yeah,
in. Just something to
yeah.
have, especially if you know that that's what you need to be prepared, right?
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
so with all of that said, you travel a lot, you find ways to work out. What happens if you fall off of that pattern, those habits? How do you then feel if you're not eating well and not working out and performing and traveling?
It's to be honest with you, I don't even know what that feels like because that never happens anymore. It's
Yeah.
just such a ritual for me. Like honestly, like I won't get on stage without going to the gym. It's
Mm,
it's literally my warm up
yeah.
for every time. So I work out a lot because I'm performing a lot, and especially if I'm sitting down doing a show 8 times a week. I'm working out 6 days a week
Yeah.
because it truly is the only way I can step onto the stage feeling like I'm confidently warmed up and ready. Way back in high school, my choir teacher actually said something that has stuck with me since the night. She said, "If your
Hate you for that.
if your body is warm, your voice is warm," and that really has always remained true to me. So I take that very seriously, and it's sort of like my religion. Like I definitely will always have some sort of workout, and it's not sometimes obviously it's much more strenuous than others. But if I can at least get like 20 minutes on the elliptical or do some push-ups and sit-ups in the room if I have to, then I do that, and that makes me able to perform. And that's
It probably
really,
yeah, it makes you probably feel more grounded, I'm assuming,
yeah,
right?
I
Like
feel more
and
grounded. I feel ready. Yeah.
probably gives you a little more confidence. You're a little bit out of your head. somewhat
Yes.
because you've now gotten the demons out a little bit from
Yeah.
exercising. The endorphins are flowing.
The endorphins are flowing, yeah. And what we
Yeah.
do is very physical. As you know, from like doing shows, like oftentimes too, there's like stairs you got to climb just to get, onto the stage and about X, Y, and Z. So it really is a physically demanding job. And so I like to be warmed up and ready for that
You
demand.
know, it's interesting because some people will say, "Well, I'm getting all of my exercise from performing, and so I'm good, and I'm too tired to exercise." But the reality is if you're exercising and you're doing strength training and warming up on the elliptical, doing whatever you're doing to move your body, it's going to improve the way that you feel and can perform, as opposed to the other way around. And I think people forget that. They're like, "I'm just too tired to do it." You're like, "You're too tired because you're not doing it."
Yeah, also it's part of my mental health. Like it really like improves my mood after I work out. And so that's another reason why I do it 6 days a week is because I want to feel good and feel happier. There's obviously it doesn't solve every problem, but it definitely elevates my mood
Yeah. It
and my
makes you feel like
confidence.
you're more in your body and in your skin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so moving forward, so joy is you got an email about that, but any other exciting potential things coming your way? Anything you can talk about?
There's nothing I can talk about, but there are some things I'm waiting to hear back on. So I really hope just send me your positive energy.
Positive energy. No,
Something cool could be on the horizon.
and I understand not sharing it. Well, obviously not in a public forum like this, but like when your
Yeah.
mom calls you and she's like, "So what did you audition for? Oh, did you
Yeah.
hear anything?" I remember I just stopped saying that I was auditioning or what I was auditioning for because then I had to answer to
What
like about
happened?
that. Yes, why didn't you get that?
Like, because I don't get 90% of the things I audition for my home.
Yes, which is also really that can be challenging mentally and emotionally. And guess what? Exercising and eating well can also help you navigate those times, right? Because it's
It's
giving you
really
something to
true.
do. Well, listen, my friend, I've kept you for a very long time. So let's just do a little quick fire. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a few questions. All right. Morning or evening workouts?
Afternoon.
Afternoon. Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Cardio, love it or hate it.
Hate it.
One exercise, well, and you're speaking to someone who runs the hard cardio department at Equinox. It's a love-hate relationship.
I do it, but I hate it.
Listen, listen, I hate deadlifts and lunges more than anything else, but
Yeah.
I know that if I
You do
don't
them.
do them, yep, I make myself do them because then I feel like a beast afterwards.
Yeah.
Speaking of exercises, what's your favorite exercise that you'll never give up?
I guess like I don't know, some sort of press. Like I will always do a press of some
Chest day,
kind.
best day.
Chest day, best day. Yeah.
So broy. Taking work calls or answering emails while you're working out, yes or absolutely not?
Yes to both. I do both. I
No,
mean, if
no.
I'm in my home gym
Uh-huh.
and because sometimes stuff is like urgent. So I usually won't take a call, but if I have to, like with the Do I project, there's always something popping off that has to be addressed. So I will take the call if it's like I need to just stop for a second and take that call. Or same thing with the email. If there's like something that needs to urgently be answered, I will respond to it, but I try not to. We don't have it's like we're not on a 9 to 5 office hours type
Yeah.
career.
It's like
So you kind of have to
call
like get
any
things
day.
done.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, as it comes
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
I know. It's just hard, but you have to keep that you need to start making it your sacred space, your sacred time
Yeah.
for you. But I
We
know
don't
how
get, I mean,
I get it. I know
we don't
how
get
hard that is.
sacred space or time as actors. They don't care about us and our time, our personal life.
Nobody cares. What does homotivation mean to you?
Okay. I mean, you might not like this part, but I am motivated because I like looking good and feeling good in the bathing suit.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that, yes, there's other underlying things because you want to feel good about yourself and what it does for your confidence. But there's no, when people say to me that they're like, oh, it just feels so superficial, I'm like, who doesn't want to look good? It's a
You
great
want to
jumping
look
off point.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
As
from
long as you're not
SoCal, so it's like baked in,
yeah.
you know?
As long as you're not working out to torture yourself or to beat yourself up or to do
Yeah,
something so
no.
that you can live up to the crazy standards in our population of gay people.
Yeah.
But,
No,
which,
I mean, I like to look my best for me, and I like to look at myself in the mirror and like what I'm seeing.
yeah,
So, but I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to have the most ripped abs or the biggest chest or the biggest arms or legs or whatever, because that's just not me. Like, I'm trying to be the best me I can be.
Yeah. And even if that was what you wanted, there's nothing wrong with that either.
There's nothing wrong with that either. If that makes what makes you happy. Yeah.
Listen,
Totally.
whatever motivates you to get you to keep going, as long as it's not beating yourself up. If you could give one message to somebody who's successful and running on empty and feels like they can't keep up, what would you say?
I would say take a breath and understand that you can do it all. You just have to map it out, plan ahead, prioritize things, prioritize yourself and your well-being first. All the other things that are coming at you that other people want from you can wait.
That, which is something that I just want to address that you said before. Those emails and things can wait for 30, 45 minutes.
I knew you're not going to let me off the hook with that.
I'm not saying,
Fair.
listen, do as I say, not as I do, because I'm not the best at that either. But that's your time. It can wait 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You're allowed that time. Because what if you were meditating during that time or taking a yoga class?
That's very true. That's very true.
So, like, keep it your sacred time. You heard it here, folks. Where can people catch y'all next? Where are the next few stops?
So we're with the Baltimore Symphony this weekend, and then actually, I'm stepping out of the group for a little while because I'm going on a cruise. I'm performing on a cruise next week on a 12-day transatlantic cruise. I'm very excited about. So unless you want to book a ticket on the cruise, you're not going to see me there. But if you go to thedoowop.com, TheDoowop project.com, that has our full tour schedule there. You can also go to charlbrown.com. That has links to all the things that I'm doing. And you can find me on Instagram at BrownCharl and TikTok at Charl Brown.
You took my next questions away from me. That was going to be.
I'm here to help you out.
Who's leading this podcast? Thank you.
I tend to be Dom, so.
For those who don't know what he's talking about, just look it up. Well, we don't have to get into that now, Dom. All right. And we're not talking about Dominic Scaglione. Anyway, all right. Or Nolfi. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for hopping on. I know this was a long time in the making. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Make sure you check Charl out on the socials, on Instagram and TikTok and all the things. And if you have a chance to see them in one of their cities, please do. And my partner will probably be in it as well. John Michael.
He's here with me now.
Yes, he is. He doesn't want to be with you. No, I'm kidding. He
would rather be in Puerto Vallarta, I know. But
well, I mean, where it's warm. I mean, it actually is a little warmer today, though. So there's
actually the sun is out and it's shiny right now. So
I know.
I'm about to get out there into it
for a nice long walk. Well, thank you again, and thank you to those who are listening and or watching. And just remember, take care of your body, but not because you're broken, because you're building something worth carrying. This is Homotivation. I'm Stephen Goldsmith, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.